Hi, everyone. It is Monday again. It feels like, hey, the weeks just keep happening, right? So welcome to our weekly live tarot reading. And today we will keep it pretty short at the front end of things so we can go straight into the reading. I had beautiful feedback from you all about last week's reading, like a lot of notes, a lot of emails, a lot of direct messages about how like right on it was. And I actually want to go back and look at it again. Hi, Sarah. And really look at what it was because hi, Shauna. Thank you. Good morning, Rebecca. Hey, happy Mother's Day to you all who are mothers. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. So this last week was energetically like really big in a sneaky way. And I don't want to go into all of like the personal pieces of it, but I had acupuncture, I had a theta healing, I had my husband work Reiki on me, I did my own stuff. It was like, I am gonna get through whatever this thing is that's culminating. Good morning, Charlotte. Hi, Katie. Hi, you guys. But for me, which is why I teach what I teach in Unicorn Wellness Studio, right? Is I deal with the physical body so much because for me personally, it's been a lifetime of energetics that have gotten stalled and stuck in my body, and things always manifest physically. And I know, hi Melinda, as a 3D incarnation, we need to take care of the body. It is real, its needs, right? And we need to deal with the 3D realness of it, but we also need to really acknowledge the energetic system of it. And the more consistent and the bigger that my spiritual practices have become over the last few years, the louder the body stuff is for me, and that it's like always energetic. I used to really freak out, thank you, Jen, and feel at the mercy of my physical body. So my teaching on Unicorn Wellness Studio is to empower you all to not feel at the mercy of the physical body. It's the vessel. It's our house. It's the home of our soul, and we live in it, and we got to deal with it. So in your house, in your apartment, you got a leak, you got to deal with it, right? So anyhow, that story and ramble is that last week I just felt like there was some back stuff that was going on, and I had all of these healings because I was like, I'm asking for help, I'm recruiting support, like I can't do everything on my own. And people were like, I am not getting any of that, I'm getting this and this. I'm like, okay. And then I had this huge breakthrough, and then my meditations have been really clear. And so what is the point of that? I would like to go back and look at last week's weekly reading because I do them. And sometimes I take major note in my personal life, but usually I go back to see how it applies and what that was shaking out. There's catharsis in the air. There is clarity in the air. There is breakthrough in the air, but sometimes you got to hustle and really work for it, right? Like I had myself on the mat. I had myself in extra meditation. I had crystals laying all over me. And then I recruited other help. I'm very sparkly today, yes. But in this, I'm not much of a visual person, meaning that my psychic clairvoyant capacities are mostly clairsentience and feeling. And then in the tarot, the message get grounded, and then it's like somebody turned the radio on. I can hear the story unfolding. But anytime somebody takes, I go to a healing or somebody goes through a visualization process, I'm not great at it. That's why in you all's meditations, I always say, if you can't visualize it, just think it. It's fine, because we're not all wired exactly the same. But in my meditation the last few days, it's been like crystal clear. Like I am seeing a project. It would be a long-term project. I'm really excited about it. And because of that excitement, then our household shifted. So I have you in the bedroom now. I hope that's okay with everybody. That we moved workspaces. My husband and I both work from home. We have a pretty tiny apartment. It is enough. It's beautiful. We love our neighborhood, but it's small. And so we've moved myself from the kitchen table into the nook and the cubby in the bedroom. So part of the happiness, I think, in the glow is like I like being nestled in a workspace from home that I have decorated and moved everything and nobody else touches it. It's like the one grown-up sanctuary in the house. So this is where we're going to do our lives from now. I hope that's okay with y'all. Welcome to my bedroom. And I'd love to hear how last week shook out for you all. Because, like I said, I had a lot of direct messages, a lot of emails, and it was just like, oh my God, last week's reading was like right on. So there's magic in the air, y'all. Even when it seems confusing, even when it seems stuck, know that for unicorns especially, when we start to get these physical signals of dis-ease, of injury, of pain, that there's reason for it, and we take care of it in the physical realm, but we've got to just like go running at it from the spiritual side too and go, what is the lesson? Where is it coming from? Thank you, Sarah. Oh, good, Shauna, right? It always, like, the kitchen table to me just felt like two in the center of everything. And this is actually part of what I've been seeing in my meditation is that, a space. But this is, I need to sit on it still, and there's a lot. Anyway, so good. I'm glad you guys are comfortable here. It feels right. I mean, this is, I'm, if nothing but, transparent with you all and want to share the personal space with you, right? And the magic. So this is also where I do my meditation and tarot pulls. So I feel like this room just has that energy about it. It's cleansed all the time. So good. There we go. Okay. Next, tiny housekeeping. If you're in Brooklyn, if you're in New York, if you're around the area, if you're coming, full moon ritual is on Saturday. Wow. Okay. I know we get a full moon and a new moon every month, but I still always feel like it sneaks up. I'm like, oh my God, we're doing this again. How exciting. So it's half full. If you want a ticket to it, tandygutierrez.com, you will need to buy it the day ahead, like at least at the very latest if there's spots left. The online booking system at tandygutierrez.com won't let you buy it the day of. It's a pain, but so you have to buy your tickets for the full moon ritual the day before. Hi, Valerie. Yay. Okay. And you're not late. This is part of why I do housekeeping at the beginning of the hour, up to 15 minutes because we all need to gather. It's totally cool. So full moon ritual on Saturday, 4 to 6 p.m. here in Carroll Gardens at 100 Smith. 100 Smith is the name of the studio and the address. So in Carroll Gardens, it's nearly at Smith and Atlantic if you're here in the neighborhood or if you know the area. If you're not here in the area, then share it with your friends and your community. And I know a lot of you have been trying to figure out, like, can I plan to travel to be here? So we have June and July for certain in this same space. I had a neat meeting on, it was not an official meeting. It was a, convergence this weekend about another space that I'm going to look at that I think might be more suited. I'm not sure, but exciting. That space would be in good company. I'll put it that way. So like neat things happening and ritual. Tomorrow for our Tangent Tuesday, or now we're calling it Tangent and Tarot, we'll talk about the full moon tomorrow. Okay. Moons this week, because that's really what we deal with is the moons. Virgo, Libra, Scorpio. So our full moon is in Scorpio. Yes. That's the witchiest sign, y'all. There's some magic. I have been feeling the energy of this full moon since like the last full moon. So I have high hopes for it energetically, and I'm really excited about the ritual around it. Hi, Erica. So there's that. Moons in Virgo, Libra, and Scorpio. Without addressing the rest of the astrology, what I will say about the rest of the astrology is that there is catharsis in the air. There is clarity in the air. There is magic and transformation, and you may need to dig for it, and you may need to work for it, and you may need to hustle it. You may need to pull some cards and extra meditation and like book something, ask a friend, ask for help, like get to the clarity. I really feel like there's just good stuff because there's some interesting anchors and boundaries with Saturn and Pluto, along with this Neptunian business and Venus. So just like dig in there, and if y'all need help, reach out, okay? And to each other. You do a beautiful job of that in the private Facebook group. Yeah, Scorpio full moon. So for Virgo, depending on where in the world you are, like today, tomorrow, and a little, list making, get a plan. That's why I'm feeling like, yes, like I saw this thing and I'm like, that seems big. But if I make a plan, then we just do it one step at a time. So it's a big like illumination and make a plan. Libra is about fairness and balance, and for unicorn wellness, unicorns. Libra moon, I think, always calls us to be in better balance and harmony with ourselves, and really look at what we're giving out versus what we're giving in, and sensual pleasure, beauty, flowers, scent, textures, versus the doing and the seeking for all and the giving. Okay, so that's midweek, and then Scorpio is the end of the week. And some of y'all if you have a hard time with the feels, okay, like if you got a lot of Capricorn in your chart and the feels are just like, oh my God, let's just get to the goal. This full moon may not be your nicest, but we'll go over all that tomorrow, like where I think it's going to be at ease and who I think is going to have like a yay time with it. And maybe some of us who are a little like, ooh. My fourth house is in Scorpio, so my sense of safety in the world comes from a sense of magic and witchcraft and the dark pieces and the deep, deep, deep truths of things. So I like it. I'm happy in Scorpio in a very strange way. So there's that. Okay. Oh, good. Yay. So Moon Magic says she loves the way that I guide you guys through the week. Yeah, it's really about the moons for me, because that's the emotional body and our emotional like wiring. And I realize that as much as we need to balance humanity and divinity, the 3D physical body, literally the vessel, with our spiritual practices and the magic that we make in the world and the magic that we want to manifest in the world, that the subconscious emotional system always drives the bus. So if we know where the moon is and kind of where it's driving and where we're going to have difficulty and where there's going to be ease, then we know how to navigate it better, right? I wanted to give myself a little pat on the back last week. Like, it's not like I was on the struggle bus, but I kind of was. And I was just like, I'm going to ask for help, and I'm going to ask my kids and my husband to do a little bit more out there and let me be in here and try to make my way through it. And lo and behold, a few days later, after all that effort, I'm feeling like, yes, okay, here we go. So sometimes you just got to declutter, and mostly in the energetic body and the emotional body. Okay, y'all. I love the excited people who already hit the thumbs up on this. Thank you. And I love that you all get here on Monday. Like, what a great way to start the week. Okay, I'm going to smudge a little before we start. I did smudge the room beforehand, but let's do a little extra, okay? Sometimes you just need a little more, right? And then again, if you guys have comments about the energy last week or the reading last week, let me know. And on Tuesdays now, I'm going to leave time every Tuesday to take live questions, okay? So be thinking about your question. Put some time in on it. All right, little Palo Santo. Okay, so 5-card spread. I'll have the full photo of our weekly reading up on Instagram pretty much when we're done here, within the hour. Good morning, Katie. Hi, everybody here. I love it. So again, please click the little like button, the little thumbs up. It totally makes a difference. If for some strange reason, those of y'all who are in the room, or for those who watch it afterwards, you still have not subscribed to the channel, please do. Please, pretty please. And share it. Just a general share is nice, because you never know who's looking for the magic, right? And it's always easy to like click on something and go, I'm just going to look. I'm just going to listen. Than to go ask a friend, hey, I am seeking magic in my life. Although I like the people who do that too. Okay. So let's look at the weekly energy. The 5-card spread. It kind of gives us that, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it gives us a, oh man, yeah, and certain themes that just won't quit. Wow, okay. There's a lot of repetition in readings, in my own and in client readings. Interesting. Okay. I mean, that's always good, because that's just like the theme. That's where we're at. Spirit in which to move through this week. The Jemberlingo's Soul Space Oracle. And again, I don't get anything from promoting her. I just love her work. a couple of the unicorns had posted in the private Facebook group. She wasn't going to make this deck anymore. And apparently, I think she has a limited amount of them available on her site. It's jenberlingo.com if you're interested. The unicorns love this deck. Spirit in which to move through this week. Okay, and then the Archangel Oracle deck. So this is the angel to call upon. This is who's guiding us this week. I'm just going to throw a bunch of them on the floor. Hang on. Okay, I see you. I will leave that one out. I'm going to pull another one. Hold, please. Your angel for the week. Okay. Here we go. Okay, theme of the week and where we're starting from. So the energy of like where we begin today into tomorrow, but it's really the overall theme for the week. 6 of Pentacles. This is one of those cards lately that just won't quit. Can you guys see it? So Alice, she's staying with us, Wonderland and Tarot deck. Okay, Pentacles, earth elements. Like we are just in it. Like the earth element is Taurus. There's nothing earthier than Taurus. Yes, I'm a little biased because I'm a Taurus sun, but Taurus is really interesting energy. If you guys don't ever watch the Leo King, he mentioned this the other day. And I was like, thank you for saying that. Because Taurus is so earthy and it's like stubborn, it's a real manifester like energy, and it's spring when things are beginning and sprouting and growing. So Taurus is one of my favorite signs because of its capacity to be real. I mean, this is a 3D incarnation. It's a 3D life. So if we're not dealing, it says the earth sign, like if we're not dealing with something real, then like, what are we doing? We need a balance of them. But 6 of Pentacles is about sharing with other people. This is very community-based things. This is, I have some, so I'm going to give you some. In other classical decks, this is like a, also a restoration of faith in people of, again, I have enough, so I'm going to give you my extras, right? It may not be everything, but I'm going to share, and others sharing with you because of it. So there's a real sense of community, a sense of sharing, a sense of thriving and abundance together, okay? So 6 is the number of love. I had one of my best friends talk me through like some real sensical woo last week, because that's kind of the thing last week. I was at a breakthrough point. And 6 is the number of love. So things that you do for 6 years at a time, and no surprise, like Unicorn Wellness, our online offering, is 6 years old. That's awesome. It's had variations and growth and transformation, but 6 can also sometimes feel stagnant. Like, I've been doing this so long. I've been loving it so long. Is this really, what it needs to be? So understand that the theme of the week is going to be community, sharing, a resurgence of faith in each other, of helping each other just for the sake of helping, because it's more fun, because we have more when we share with each other. And that because we share and come together as a community, that there is an abundance for all, and it then feels like a celebration. Life doesn't feel like so much work alone. When you're doing it with others, then it feels like a celebration. Oh, that was big. That's a yes. Okay. So again, where we're starting from and the theme of the week. Then we move into next steps for this week, right? Like, okay, there's going to be a transition. What's this next step transition? This is the sun. Did the sun come up last week? It's been around. Okay, I love it in this deck, okay? So the sun in its classical reading is very Leo energy. Leo is the heart-centered self. It's the biggest heart of the zodiac. This is like when we follow our true heart-centered path, we are always eventually guaranteed abundance because of it, because we love it, because then it doesn't feel like work. Then it's something we love and it's fun, So the sun is always about stepping into your true place in the sun, coming out of the dark. It can be a bit of a coming out, like, hey, I'm a witch, y'all, and a unicorn, whatever that means. These things that really, when we're being honest of who we are at our soul level. So refer back to your soul business card. If you have not made your soul business card yet, y'all get on that. Okay, it's a real breakthrough. And I say that because it was for me, and then I'm seeing clients do it, and it's like the lights come on. So work with the soul business card. I think, yes, that's a yes. Next steps this week is to really work on your soul business card, because abundance comes from a soul-centered path, okay? So again, in this card, she's got the red queen, and God, what is her name in Alice in Wonderland? Not the good queen, but the white queen. I can't remember her name. But it's interesting because she's like a little queen in it, you know? It's like she's getting the talk from the harder side and from the lighter side. And it's a little bit like having your fairy godmother, you know, the devil and the angel, even though that's not what the deal is. It's more like having Scorpio and like what's kind of this lighter, I don't know, maybe Cancer energy, you know, like a little bit angelic. Like Scorpio's dark and witchy, right? And goes to the underworld and like is willing to do the hard trauma healing and like to hurt again in order to get to the goods. And that Cancer mama energy is like very nurturing, very caregiving, gives you the time that you need to mourn and to grieve, and then goes, get your ass up, go shower, go put on some clean clothes, and then go find yourself a job kind of thing. So it's like she's getting coached from both ends of these things of like, how do I grow into being a queen? Like, how do I become my most empowered female self? How do I stand in my own power without pissing people off? And do I really care if I piss them off? Because I have a heart-centered path to fulfill. Time to be brave, time to grow up a little bit, time to transition into big self. Okay, cool. I'm looking, yeah, totally Libra and Scorpio moons right there. Absolutely. Absolutely, you guys. I'm just checking in on the comments. See, Charlotte? Yeah, that Four of Pentacles for sure. Okay, so big steps for our highest and greatest good this week. She's another card that won't quit. We're like, Queen of Swords. She's a badass bitch, you know, but I mean it in the best ways. It's always about how we wield our words. This is empowerment in our words. This is not caring what anybody thinks about it. She is wise. She is skilled. She is thoughtful, and she is willing to make decisions for the highest and greatest good of all. May cut some people off, may push some people out because it's not for the greatest good. They bring bad juju. They're pushing people down. They're stepping on. No, out. No more. So the biggest bit this week when this card came out, especially, I felt like this is us stepping into that Queen of Swords. Like she doesn't mince words, and she's not going to hash things out. If it does not feel right and she doesn't, you know, in a linear path doesn't think it's right, it's not right, and I'm not doing it. So no need to fight, no need to waste time, just be on your way. So this is a lot about wielding your words, about sitting in your empowerment. You know, she's not arguing. She's not going towards somebody with a fight. She just sits in her place of power and goes, I've really thought about this, and I've really watched what's going on, and I've really synthesized the information. Because remember, swords are intellect, acumen, and thought process. Swords for us as unicorns is also very much about our subconscious patterning and programming. As much analytical thinking as we do and we need to do, the pigeon's always driving the bus. That subconscious system's driving it. So this shows like the biggest, you know, transition point this week. Either we've transitioned into this place of empowerment and the subconscious is finally either working from a new place of positive perspective or is transitioning into that, right? Or you're just getting much more comfortable there and you go, oh, it's calmer. There's more energy. I'm not jumping up and down and reacting to everything. I just sit here and I listen and I go, that's not going to be a fit. That sounds like a fit. Cool, right? It's very diplomatic. She's very diplomatic, but she's very much about boundaries. So there was like a, you know, a silly little thing I put up on Instagram in my stories. It was like, you love and empathy and go help, but you have a shit ton of boundaries in place for that also. And that's totally the Queen of Swords. Like she is a benevolent queen, but on an overall spectrum. This is not about indulgence and like only Netflix and the Minky and the carton of ice cream. This is about like, actually, no, we're not going to eat the ice cream this time because you do that long term, your insulin levels are going to be all over the place. Like it's not like the way to get to the good stuff is not about indulgence, and it's not about being happy, and it's not about triggering dopamine receptors anymore. It's about having more mature rails and we're on a tangent right now, but I hear it. Okay, that we're on a different path and pattern now. What looked like joy and fun before is different. It has more of a softer side and more of a subtle piece to it, and it's not particularly about It's just not that basic lizard reptilian brain. Feed, does it feel good? Now. Like, we've grown into a place of going, yeah, that would feel good right now, maybe be some fun, but I'm totally going to pay for it later on, and that's not worth it to me. I got bigger things to do, you know? Okay. Yep. All right. Assets to this week, to the situation. Hi, Pearl, I see you. Page of Pentacles. Page of Pentacles just keeps hopping along this spring, I feel like. Okay. So again, more Pentacles, earth element, like nothing says Taurus energy like Pentacles, right? Because it's finances, it's abundance, it's joy, it's energy, it's health, it's wellness, it's opportunities. So Page of Pentacles says, I know what to carry in my bag. And we've talked about it in this card before for sure. It's like, did he throw all those sandwiches out to pick up all the gold coins? Is he picking everything up that he found and putting it all in his bag? Like, Page of Coins is about, a temporary opportunity for abundance, like to plant more abundance, right? It's like planting seeds that are going to grow, that can have a lot of really auspicious, big blooming moments in them. It's also about really learning and learning, because pages learn, right? They are the students of really starting to cultivate mastery, of learning what's of value and what's not. So again, kind of this idea of like, hey, if I pick up the sandwich, then I'm not hungry anymore. If you got celiac like me, picking up a sandwich that's gluten-free, like that is not worth it in the long haul. I can be hungry for just a little bit longer until I can, fuel with something that resonates with my system, like cracking a personal food code, like the reset, like, what works for you and what doesn't. You don't just take what's laying around anymore. That's yes. So that's the asset. That is the asset. You actually know what works for you in your highest and greatest good and works for prosperity and abundance. You do. Don't just take what's laying around anymore. It's like the scraps. This was a theme, not so long ago either. Like, if you didn't order it, send it back, just to make somebody else comfortable. Everybody I know who has, food allergies or food issues or gets, the celiac diagnosis, that transition into how to order in a restaurant or how to eat out with other people is a transition. And we all at one point go, oh, it's okay. And we'll try to pick it off and eat it. Meanwhile, we are sick for weeks after that. After a while, you're like, no, that's not worth it. You're uncomfortable. The slight embarrassment or discomfort is not worth the long haul damage. So we're learning, as a people, as a culture, as unicorns, this short-term easy thing is not worth the long-term damage. That's a yes. Okay. Outcome of the week. Y'all are going to laugh at this one. It's Four of Swords. Okay. So Four of Swords keeps coming around too. This is always about rest, restoration, and meditation. So I like it in this deck also because it's a little weird, it's like swords hanging over him while he sleeps. Is that dangerous or not? But it's also these concepts of what is dangerous. It's dangerous not to rest. It's arguably dangerous in the long term not to have a consistent meditation practice. Like, it's dangerous to just go running and wielding a sword when you haven't had time to replenish, restore, and be connected to your internal moral compass or your internal intuition, something bigger than yourself, right? Wielding a sword with no internal moral compass is not going to be very pretty and not right? Like that's just bloodshed for bloodshed. So this swords, intellect, human thought processes, subconscious patterning, right? Your subconscious system drives the bus. So the more rest, the more meditation, the more healings, the more binaural beats, the more crystal sound baths that we have, the more we cleanse, clear, and up the resonance of our subconscious programming. And I do feel like, we rest and come out of it, and then we're in a 3D life, and shit gets stuck to us again, and there's residue, and there's and people, right? All the people, and you have to go back and cleanse again. So in my mind, meditation in the mat is that teeth, brushing every day of our energetic and our physical field. We just got to sweep it out once a day. Keep sweeping, So the end of this week is going to require rest and self-care. And this card is always called meditation, little cat naps, little power naps. I have some, again, if you lunate on here on YouTube, I love her stuff. She does Reiki by proxy and ASMR sounds. And when I feel like, okay, mama needs some space held for her, I listen and watch her videos. You know, you don't have to pay a ton for things. Like, you can find resources. Sometimes you need a person to hold space for you. I get that. That's what I'm here for too, right? But there are other ways to craft it. So the end of the week, the outcome of the week is a little bit too. It's like if you're stepping in your true place in your sun, you start to set your boundaries and you're really making a plan and you're planting things for the future. Might be a little tired at the end of the week. I can already tell you this is how my week's going to go. So plan for it. Just throw some things off your plate already this weekend. Give yourself some alone time. Get some help. Ask for help. Carve it out. Because typically people don't just hand you extra time. Like, you're going to have to claim it. Okay. Spirit in which to move through this week. Oh, it was glary. You can't see it. Humor. You know, life is funny, right? I mean, like, if you don't laugh at it, sometimes you will just cry and be depressed the whole time. So I pulled this card and then I'm called to just call on Katie Chapman Barrow. She's like, you just sometimes things are heavy. Scorpio is deep and heavy and can get really dark. So that's our full moon this weekend, right? We'll hit its energy of that moon midweek around Wednesday. Queen of Swords. She's totally ruled by Scorpio. And who was it that said that, like, it looked like our moons this week, like Libra and Scorpio? Totally. So just remember, grain of salt, bit of humor. Don't let things become so big. Find the humor in it. There's a good angle. Okay. Then we have 2 angels this week because one of them flew out. Yeah. Katie, you better hear me. Katie and I got stuff brewing too. I'm not going to say it, but anyway, Katie, I'll send you a text later. Okay, so there are 2 angels this week. So one that fell out that was just very clear and prominent, and then the other one that I pulled. So the one that fell out, I thought this was really beautiful. Archangel Sandalphon, gentleness. Be very gentle with yourself at this time. Surround yourself with gentle people, situations, and environments. I'm going to read the rest of this. This goes along with the Instagram post today that it was like, if people around you don't make you feel supported, it doesn't mean they have to make you feel good. Let me be clear about that. Your friends don't always make you feel good. They're honest. They are gentle. They are clear. They help reframe. They help you question. They help you take that step back to respond versus react. Those are the people you stick with and you stick around. And if you're like, I don't have anybody in my life like that, then it's time for some new friends and it's time for some self-work to magnetize them. It's time to spend more time with the unicorns, right? So again, we all have conflict with social media and social platforms, but they bring us together on a Monday morning. We wouldn't be able to do this otherwise. My best girlfriends are literally all over the globe. So go gentle with yourself. There's catharsis in the air. There's transition and clarity in the air. So be soft, rest, just plan. I just think we should all just plan for some not doing anything, not seeing anybody on a weekend day this weekend. Okay. Let me read gentleness and then we'll go to the next one. So Archangel Sandalphon. Why is my phone blowing up right now? I'm not answering that. And I thought I turned it off. Hopefully you can't hear it. Hold, please. I don't think I've ever pulled this one before. Sandalphon wishes to help you feel peaceful and centered, and he strongly advises that you begin by listening to gentle music. Play it wherever you go, talk quietly, and engage in slow rhythmic movements, such as swaying to music or a gentle yoga session. Don't engage in battles at this time. Instead, retreat from conflict while you revive your spirit and become even stronger. Delay decision-making at this time. You'll know exactly what to do when you engage from your gentle retreat. I love this. Oh my goodness. I am a big fan of this because it really does go with the end of the week. And again, Queen of Swords, she doesn't go out looking for a fight. She sits in that throne. You bring a fight to me, we'll deal with it. but I don't, she really sits in her power. Like, I don't need to go bleeding energy and wasting energy on these little piddly things. If it's a big deal to you and you end up in front of my chair, we'll work through it. Okay. And the other one. I love this. Leadership, Archangel Gabriel. It is time for you to assume your leadership power and position and lovingly guide others. I think that one's been around for a while too for us. Okay, so let's read that one. Embrace your power in a loving way. Hello, stepping into your true place in the sun. Okay. And use it for the greater good. I'll guide your actions so they inspire and motivate others. I'll also replace any self-doubt about your qualifications with an increased desire to serve, help, and teach. When your focus is more on how may I serve, then you won't worry about what others may think about you. Focus upon your strength, the many lessons you've learned, and how good it feels to be a living example of following one's divine guidance. I'm going to point out Page of Pentacles too. I'm not just picking this up anymore because it's easier. It doesn't serve the highest and greatest good. No, thank you. Working with Archangel Gabriel. Gabriel's name means God is my strength, and this phrase describes you as well. Regardless of your background, you have God's strength pouring through you at all times. Gabriel can help you fearlessly tap into this power. She'll reassure you that it's safe for you to be powerful and protect you in all ways. Gabrielle's aura is copper. Didn't we have this one? Again, I need to go back because I don't always remember it. There's a lot of readings in 1 week. Gabrielle's aura is copper like her trumpet. When you wear the crystal stone citrine or the precious metal copper, you readily connect with her energy. So these are our angels for the week. So Gabrielle and Sandalphon. Gentle and kind of like not, it's a little disengaged, this week, which I think is fine. I really do. I'm super excited and I feel like super energetic from the breakthrough of things for me personally. But I also had to have a talk with myself this morning about all of my fire in my chart where I was like, don't go sharing it yet. Don't go making decisions. You need to wait and see how you feel after sitting on it for a week, Yeah. Wear some copper. I don't even own copper. I know I should because it's like this thing energetically, but I don't. Maybe it's time this week. Let's all go find some beautiful copper pieces. Okay, y'all, my dear unicorns, I love you very much. Your movement patterns on the map this week are going to be a little bit more, right? This is our full moon week. This is the week that the movements and the workouts ask more of you than in the rest of the month. That being said, because we're getting this amplified energy from the full moon, if your system needs to be gentle and is like, I am not on that path right now. I feel like a lot of the moons are a little opposite. This one is feeling big though. Then go back in your membership and in your workouts and use the new moon stretches from earlier in the month. Like if you were just not it's not there. That energy is not there. We're in this down gentle time. Then don't do the pushy ones. Don't let me be pushy. Okay. But if you feel like synced into things, then, just go press play. Hi, Rapali. Tomorrow is the live question day, Tuesdays. Today we did the weekly tarot together. And so if you want to go back and watch it later, we're just getting ready to kind of finish up here. But tomorrow is live question day for sure. And I'm so glad you remembered and I'm glad to have you back. I just feel like, again, unicornwellness.studio, the workouts, the movement patterns, it is designed for you to just press play. But we're going with the general, right? Like the general readings, they work for all of us. They have something to say. But when you really need some clarity in your life, you book a one-on-one, you book a personal reading, right? So the workouts are the same. I want to give you all permission to really tune into your own body and go, I love these full moon workouts, but right now, that's just not where I'm at in my healing process and energetic process. And I'm not that you need it, but I'm giving you permission to go back in your account and just use the new moon stretches because again, we're getting this gentleness piece to it. So these harder hitting ones they're a little aggressive. I mean, you know me, I don't ever do anything crazy, but they're intense and they go deep. And again, this Scorpio full moon is intense and it will go deep. And there's a lot of psoas strengthening in these Do you see where we're going here, y'all? How the astrology and the zodiac influence the workouts? Scorpio to me actually is the psoas, because the psoas is our fight or flight muscle. And there's so much to be done with healing in our culture too, because it gets triggered so often with pixels, with caffeine, and with the pace at which we feel we have to work at things. And it's that deep underground piece of it, right? So Scorpio, I'm going to say it for anybody who's had a Simple Stars reading with me. Scorpio is like your raw heart inside a box, inside another box, inside of a jewelry chest, inside of a steamer trunk, in the trunk of a car, inside a ship sunk at the bottom of the ocean with a mountain on top of it. So Scorpio has to learn how to trust, and usually they have to learn to trust themselves most of all. They don't trust easily. And so because they feel so deeply, and that's like, people are rude and surface level. Unicorns are not. We're a different breed, and so you have to, Scorpios have to learn how to trust, and they have to learn how to recover, and they have to learn how to understand that these are other people's energies, and not their own. So this moon, Scorpio full moon, will always ask you to go incredibly deep into what needs to be released in order to move forward for your highest and greatest good. So you're going to have to get in there. Interestingly enough, okay, I'm being called to share with you that in this full moon, and it's an offering I think I'm going to make clearer on TandyGutierrez.com with the readings that you can book. This has been coming through loud. I feel like I'm getting lots of clarity and I just can't keep up with them, which means, they'll come in their own time. This full moon is calling us to really look at past life attachments that need to be cleared, that are still dragging us down in this incarnation. I know that topic is newer for some of the unicorns. And if it doesn't call to you and doesn't resonate to you, then don't worry about it. It's okay. But if you're like, that sounds like truth or like something I need to explore, might kind of start a dialogue in the private Facebook group. You're welcome to email me. But in readings now, when we specifically ask for what is the past life that needs to be healed right now, we're getting really clear. Channeling through really clear answers for members who book. So the past life stuff is big and on the table. And I'm hearing that it's big in this full moon. Okay. And you go, how do I even do that? How does that work? Where does that go? It's a thing, but it's no more of a thing than anything else. If you have a really deep meditation practice, you could ask in meditation, what is the past life that's right now needs to be healed? We drag through our karma that's incomplete from past lives. So there are times that when we need to release it. My personal experience of it is that, everybody releases in a different way, just like foods that are fit for your body. Right. So, past lives, this is direct connection to familial wounds and ancestral wounds. Yes, and the mixed ancestry of things. So but we have depending on whether you're a new soul or an old soul, like we have so many incarnations that we're constantly dealing with these things. Part of the healing bit that was so weird to me this week personally was that it was two things. It was a past life issue that was just so loud that was like, had been like recently almost reattached, like it had come to the surface and was like really playing itself out physically in my body. And then another piece was like super practical of like what I need to be drinking. Like there's just these layers. So you can ask in your personal meditations. There's some great, self-guided past life regression bits on YouTube. You just go do some searching, have some fun. And then if you feel like, no, I don't want to do that, that's not resonating, that's not working, you can book a reading with me. I know that I don't have any close appointment time, so that may not call to you. You're like, I need it right now. But the work's not done in an instant of the full moon. We're dealing with those energies for 2 weeks. So just here, what's being passed is that this full moon in Scorpio is going to ask us to really delve the depths, that for those of us past life, ancestral wounding, familial wounding is big on the table and prominent, then we need to head that direction for the clarity, the insight, the healing, and the final release of it. So remember that healing actually does have final release moments. You're not constantly chasing the same healing. And that this full moon, I have felt it. It's going to be big. It's cathartic, but it's energetic release. Like you got to, these anvils and these anchors that are still attached. I'm also seeing them as like black octopi, like at our sacrum. So when you get into Kundalini energy and like your magical energy, like having that kind of like suck on your magical energy, you want to get rid of that. So I'll leave you with that. How's that, you guys? I'm excited about the moon. I am excited about things. I'm glad you like the new space. And I'll see you tomorrow, right? And if you're not a member of Unicorn Wellness Studio, down below in the link or under the other videos, there's the code for 30 days free guest membership. Is totally genuinely free. What I really teach is about soul evolution for the highest expression of your soul in this lifetime. And in order to do that, we have to deal with the physical. I think there are so many beautiful spiritual teachers and guides and readers and healers, but we are leaving out a major component when we're not addressing the physical body and the physical vessel. So Unicorn Wellness Studio, it's the workouts written in accordance to the astrology in order to help cleanse and clear our energy and to release these past lives, to release these karmic, pulls and drags, to release attachments from other people. Like it's just another way to do it. And there's Reiki healing in every single video. So you're in receiving mode just by pressing play and listening, even if you didn't complete the full video, right? Okay, y'all. Oh, good, Katie. Safak, today I'm not taking live questions. That's tomorrow. So we join as a community on Monday, and I do the weekly tarot reading live, but I don't take individual questions today. But tomorrow I will. So if you can join us tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'm happy to take a question then. Okay? I'm looking at one more bit. Right? So it's just, this is another interesting, exciting, potentially big week. And when I'm saying big right now, I really mean energetically big. And for me, just so you know that my healing stuff, like, people go to a healing and they'll rave about their energies afterwards. And I'm always like, oh, I have to go hibernate for about 2 or 3 days. And actually I feel kind of worse. That's how my body responds to it. And then, hey, Monday morning, I'm like, yeah, here we go. Healing takes time. It takes time to integrate in the physical body. So allow yourself time to heal, right? It's not instantaneous. You're doing the work. If you're doing the work, if you're showing up, then just keep supporting and soothing and really carving out time for that process. And that will mean you may need to push other people out of the way kindly, or maybe not. Like, I need the boundaries. I need some space. I need some time. I need your help. These are all things. But apparently, spirit in which to move through it this week is, why won't that show there? Okay. All right. I love you too, Katie. I do. Pearl, for the Reiki healing, if you'll, we can continue that conversation in the private Facebook group. Reiki healing is usually done by a practitioner. It's an energetic healing process. We have a couple of Reiki healers in the Unicorn Wellness group. I do practice it, but the reality is I'm a little frustrated with my own schedule and self, because I'd like to be able to offer you all one-on-one Reiki healing sessions by proxy, but I just don't have time right now. You might find somebody in your own area locally, but I'm telling you, there are at least 2 fabulous ones in the private Facebook group as part of your community that I'm happy to connect you all with, that it can be done in person or by proxy, meaning with somebody else in another space. And here, another thing I want to say, I feel like there's so many tangents and things right now and conversations to have. Tomorrow we'll be talking about the full moon, but to touch on a couple of things. So Reiki healing deals with the energies of the body. And I think traditionally and typically we talk about the 7 chakras and balancing the chakras and then allowing light energy in to clear stagnant energies in the body. Different people are receptive to it at different levels. Reiki can take on so many different aspects depending on the practitioner. So I had a theta healing this week, which I feel is like amped up Reiki, right? And then if you've ever had a shamanic healing, some people do Reiki with these shamanic pieces to it, and they're all different, and it's a journey. If they call to you to understand it better, do some Googling, get some books, but again, put it out to the community in the private Facebook group, because we have 2 practitioners in there I deeply trust, that are highly magical, that I'm sure would love to do a distance healing for you, and you all's energy would probably be like, yeah, on the healing capacity, because I've said, as we stay together as a community, the longer we're together, the more in synthesis and our energy is. Those who I do readings for consistently, like, the input and the messaging and the channeling that comes through is just bigger and clearer every time. So I do suggest you using somebody from the group, but you always have choices, right? And this can just assist the process. Yeah. The other piece about what I was trying to be clear about with Reiki healing is that in my book at this point, healing is healing. The format that it takes sometimes doesn't matter. And that it's really about the practitioner, the healer who's assisting you. Remember that healers don't heal you. I don't heal you. We instigate, hold space, and allow you and support you to initiate and fulfill your own healing, right? You'll hear a lot of spiritual teachers and healers and teachers say, like, I'm just helping you remember who you really are. It is a matter of awakening the soul and remembering. What I also feel like you all need to hear at this point in the game is truth sounds like truth. So if something resonates as truth, this person that I had a healing with on the phone, this is not somebody I know. This was brought to me by somebody I know and trust. They're not anywhere near my neighborhood. And she's a younger healer, but it just resonated as truth. I knew she was the one. Like, I was like, okay, yeah. So learn to just feel truth in things. If Reiki healing is calling you, then go search it out. And the place to start really is always in the private Facebook group, because that's where our community conversation is. People in that group are so genuine, so loving. We really are there for each other and your highest evolvement of healing for each other. So no question is too off limits or personal. Just, we're all trying to seek. We're all trying to get the tools that we need in order to fulfill it. I am sending Reiki energy to you all in each of the videos that you press play on the site. I always bless the SD card and the video before I start recording. So you are receiving love and light and healing energy just by being a member on the site. But if you want to do something more focused with it, and you really want that one-on-one dialogue with a practitioner, then go book Reiki. And it's one of those things that's a little difficult to explain, that you need to have an experience with first. Okay? Oh, good, Sarah. Yeah, I feel like it's just conversations we need to have and we need to understand. Healers don't heal you. We don't. I'm magic, but like, it's not my 2 hands and Tandy that's like, I'm instigating and initiating and helping you balance frequencies and energies in the physical body and the energetic plane so that you can actualize your own healing. This is why I always ask, do you trust me? Are you willing to heal? Because your answers and your feeling about it absolutely make all the difference in the world. I can sit here and meditate and practice Reiki and pull energies through. It's going to help. That's the whole point. But our souls know our highest and greatest good. Our souls know and remember that we are divine, that we are expansive, right? That we are angelic in many ways. We just need to remember it. So multiple incarnations and a 3D life, they cause us to forget. It's like having a pane glass window that's got like 15 layers of dirt that's never been cleaned. So with each step forward that you take into meditation, on the mat, into high frequency foods and cracking your food code with the reset, and into the tarot readings and perhaps a Reiki treatment, massage even, it's like it takes that film off. And by doing the practice of unicornwellness.studio, of the movement, of the meditation, of the tarot, and the food consistently, you take a damn power washer to the whole thing. Crystal clear windows. And then you can open the window, right? It's not stuck shut anymore. So it's high time for healing right now, y'all. Hop on the wagon. Okay? But also know that it takes effort and time and work. And that if you have a healing done, acupuncture, massage, Reiki, that you need time to rest and recover. It is just like our workouts on the mat. So workouts don't change a body. They are preparation for change. So we work out 3 weeks of the month, then we take our constructive rest week, the week of the new moon, for synthesis in order for the body to change in that time period. And for a body to synthesize and integrate change and to actually shed, unnecessary weight, gain additional strength, flush lymph nodes and toxins, it takes time and it takes the rest stages. So it's a system, right? And there's a process and it goes in a 4-week cycle. This is the fact of it, right? So within that, apply that to energetic healings as well, that you may have the healing with somebody. It doesn't happen in an instant. And I'm going to tell you this, as connected and as like frequency as I am, I often don't have that moment of healing. It takes me 24, 48, 72 hours to process it. Okay. I'm just sharing and running my mouth now. I am such a Queen of Swords right now. But that card, when it came out, I was like, it's been in like every one of my readings lately. So yes, you're right. And thank you for noticing. I do feel like the Queen of Swords is something I've very much needed to grow into and step into and be loud and clear in order to help. And I got an opinion. So there you go. Don't have to agree with it. Right? Okay. I love you all very much. If you want to book a personal reading with me, tandygutierrez.com. Tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we will talk about the full moon for our full moon ritual, and then I will take about 15 minutes, but that's like 10 questions or maybe longer, depending on how we're feeling, live tarot readings tomorrow. Okay. And make sure to use the the 30-day code at the bottom for your 30 days free on the site. Like there's no reason not to. It's really where I feel like the magic hits the concrete. Like we can talk about all this, we can understand this. You want some healing to happen, you get on that mat, you start to work as your own Reiki practitioner a little bit to cleanse stuff out, right? And if you have questions about things, head over to the private Facebook group. That's all. And if you're in Brooklyn, on Saturday, join me for the full moon ritual here live in Brooklyn. You will need to purchase your ticket at tandygutierrez.com, and you have to buy it by Friday, the 17th of May. The ritual is Saturday, May 18th, 4 to 6 p.m. here in Carroll Gardens, but it won't let you buy it online. So on the day of, so you got to do it ahead of time. And there's 5 slots left, I think. So go snatch them up. Yeah, totally, Valerie. Go clear your schedule. Perfect, right? Go clear your schedule for this week. Like the video, please. Little comments below. Share it. I love you all very much, and I will see you tomorrow.